Listen to me. I need you to understand something right now. Your feelings are lying to you. They've been lying to you for years. Your feelings tell you you're tired, so you stop. Your feelings tell you you're not good enough, so you quit. Your feelings tell you it's not the right time. And guess what? That's the same lie that's been keeping you stuck where you are. I'm talking to somebody right now who feels like giving up, who feels like it's never going to happen. But I came here to tell you, your feelings don't get to decide your future. Your decisions do. Don't click off this video because I'm about to break down exactly how you can stop letting your emotions control your execution. You might not feel like watching this whole thing, but by the end, you'll thank yourself that you did. Let's go. Listen to me. Some of you keep letting a temporary emotion destroy a permanent assignment. You wake up tired and tell yourself, I don't feel like it today. And the moment you say that, your feelings just stole your purpose. I'm telling you, your feelings will change 100 times before lunch, but your why, your purpose, that's supposed to be the same every single day. I remember when I met Marcus, a young brother from Atlanta. His dream was simple, be the first in his family to graduate college. First, nobody before him had ever done it. At the start, he was fired up, waking up early, hitting the books, staying late at the library. But halfway through sophomore year, life hit him hard. His mom got sick, bills piled up, his grades dropped. One night he called me, voice shaking, E.T., I don't feel it anymore. I don't think I can keep going. I said, Marcus, good, because now we're going to find out if you're built for this. Purpose don't need feelings to operate. Purpose needs commitment. I told him, when your feelings leave, that's when your purpose shows up. Anybody can move when it's easy, but champions keep moving when it hurts. For months, that boy went to class straight from work, eyes red, body heavy. He didn't feel smart. He didn't feel motivated, but he kept showing up. And guess what? 2 years later, I was in the crowd watching him walk across that stage. His mama in the front row crying her eyes out. That diploma didn't come from his feelings. It came from his focus. Your feelings will tell you to quit on your marriage, quit on your dream, quit on yourself. They'll tell you you're not enough. They'll tell you it's too hard. But your purpose, your why, that's the voice that says, I was made for this. Purpose doesn't depend on the weather, the mood, or what people think. Purpose stands firm even when the world's falling apart. When I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, I didn't feel chosen. I didn't feel successful. But I had a vision, a permanent vision, that one day I said speak life into people around the world. And that vision kept me alive when everything else said give up. So here's what I need from you. Stop letting your feelings vote on your destiny. They don't get a say. Feelings are guests. They come and go. But your purpose, that sits the owner of the house. Treat it like it. Wake up tomorrow and say, feelings you can ride, but you sit, you're not driving. Because when the feelings fade, and they will, your purpose will still be standing. And if you stay loyal to it, it will carry you farther than any emotion ever could. Let me say this loud and clear. Discipline will always speak louder than emotion. You can't build a legacy on how you feel. You build it on what you do, even when you don't feel like it. See, emotion screams for comfort. Emotion says, you deserve a break. Emotion says you can do it tomorrow. But discipline whispers, get up. Discipline says, let sits go again. Discipline says, you made a promise, now keep it. Some of you are too emotional to be successful. Every time you get tired, you stop. Every time you don't feel it, you quit. You let a feeling interrupt your future. Let me tell you a story about Vanessa, a single mom I met in Detroit. She was working 2 jobs, one at the hospital cafeteria during the day and cleaning offices at night. She told me she wanted to go to nursing school, but she was scared. I said, Vanessa, don't tell me what you feel. Tell me what you're willing to do. She enrolled that same semester. There were nights she studied with her head nodding, falling asleep over her books. She said, E.T., I cried so many times, but I kept showing up. Every day she went to class, dropped her son at daycare, went to work, came back, studied, and then did it all over again. 2 years later, she called me screaming on the phone. E.T., I did it. I saw a nurse. Listen to me, she didn't just feel like it most days, but discipline didn't stop to ask her how she felt. Discipline said, you owe your son this. You owe yourself this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Stop worshiping your feelings. Stop making decisions based on moods. Make decisions based on principles. When you're emotional, you'll do what's convenient. But when you're disciplined, you'll do what's necessary. When I started speaking, nobody was calling me. Nobody was paying me. I didn't have followers, likes, or a microphone. But every morning, I was up at 3 a.m. recording, writing, practicing. Not because I felt like it, but because I was called to it. I want you to understand this. Emotion changes with the weather. But discipline builds empires. Discipline turns average into unstoppable. Winners don't feel their way into action. They act their way into feelings. That's why when the alarm clock goes off, champions don't say, do I feel like it? They say, let's eat. That's why soldiers train in the rain. That's why athletes run when no one's watching. That's why dreamers become doers, because they learn to obey their discipline, not their emotion. You can't be great and emotional at the same time. So the next time you feel tired, frustrated, or unmotivated, remind yourself discipline is louder than emotion. Let your consistency make the noise. Let your work speak for you. Because in the end, it's not about how you felt, it's about what you finished. Listen to me, your feelings are allergic to pressure, but your future feeds off it. Every time you choose comfort, you starve your destiny. Every time you say it's too hard, you rob yourself of the strength you could have built through that struggle. I need you to get this deep in your spirit. Growth only happens under pressure. Diamonds don't form in peace. They form in heat, in struggle, in pressure. You keep asking God to bless you, but you're running from the very pressure that creates the blessing. When I was homeless, I didn't feel like speaking. I didn't feel like waking up early. But I had pressure to survive, pressure to change, pressure to become something more than what I was. And that pressure pushed me into my purpose. I remember a young athlete named Michael. I met him at one of my camps. Talented kid, strong, fast, but lazy when things got hard. Every morning he'd come up with an excuse. Coach, I don't feel like running today. My legs hurt. I told him straight up, good, then that's exactly why we're running. He looked at me crazy. I said, you think pressure is your enemy? Nah, pressure is your trainer. It's just trying to prepare you for the big game. That kid ran every day that summer, in the heat, in the rain, in the pain. I watched him grow tougher, faster, hungrier. 2 years later, he called me E.T. I got the scholarship. You see, comfort never would have given him that call. Pressure did that. Some of you want a soft life, but you want strong results. It doesn't work that way. You can't pray for strength and then complain about struggle. You can't ask to be great and then run from the grind. Pressure exposes who you really are. It's in the pressure where you find your character, your patience, your hunger. When things get uncomfortable, that's when you find out if you really want it or just like the idea of it. When the pressure hits, your feelings will start screaming, slow down, take it easy. This isn't worth it. But your purpose, your future will whisper back, keep going, I need this. You see, comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort is where dreams go to die. But pressure is where ordinary becomes extraordinary. When you lift weights, the muscle only grows when it's under tension. That's life. Every time you face pressure, every time you stay in the game, when it hurts, you're growing stronger. So stop running from the hard stuff. Stop trying to make life easy. Lean into the pressure. Embrace it. Because one day when you reach your goal, you'll look back and realize it was the pressure that built your power. Listen to me. Your feelings are temporary, but your results, they last forever. The pain you feel right now, it'll fade. The exhaustion, it'll pass. But the success that comes from pushing through it, that stays with you for life. The problem with most people is they make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. You feel tired, so you stop. You feel discouraged, so you give up. You feel scared, so you play it safe. And then 6 months later, you look back and realize you traded your future for a feeling. Let me tell you about Jada, a young woman I met in Chicago. She wanted to start her own bakery. She had fire in her eyes, passion in her heart. But passion alone don't pay bills. She was working 16-hour days, baking through the night, delivering orders in the morning, barely sleeping. She called me one day crying, E.T., I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. I feel like giving up. I told her, good. That means you stood close. The moment you feel like quitting is usually the moment before breakthrough. She said, but E.T., I can feel my hands. I said, you don't need to feel your hands. You need to remember your why. She kept pushing week after week, month after month, A year later, that same woman stood in her bakery, Seth's grand opening, line out the door, people waiting to buy her cakes, tears rolling down her face. She looked at me and said, E.T., I don't start to even remember how tired I was. Did you hear that? The feelings faded. The fatigue faded. But the result, her business, her success, her pride remained. You gotta understand, nobody remembers how you felt in the grind. They remember what you built. When Kobe was shooting in the gym at 4 a.m., he didn't feel like it every day, but he knew the championships would erase the pain. When a mother gives birth, she forgets the pain because she sees the result. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Stop focusing on how it feels and focus on how it's gonna finish. Feelings are loud in the moment, but results speak forever. That degree on the wall, that house you bought your parents, that business you built from nothing, those are permanent reminders that you pushed past the moment. The world won't reward your mood swings. It rewards your mastery. Every great person you admire didn't let their emotions decide their effort. They decided once and they executed daily. So the next time you feel tired, angry, discouraged, remind yourself this will fade. But what you build by pushing through, that'll outlive the moment. Because the truth is, feelings come and go, but legacy stays. Listen to me. Your feelings will lie to you every single day. Your feelings will tell you you can't do it. Your feelings will say you're not good enough. Your feelings will scream it's too late, too hard, too heavy. But the facts tell a different story. The fact is, you've survived every bad day you've ever had. The fact is, you've already overcome things that once felt impossible. The fact is, you're still standing. And if you're still standing, that means you've still got fight left in you. I remember when I dropped out of high school. My feelings told me I was a failure. My feelings told me I'd never make it, that I'd never be anything. I believed those lies for years. But one day I looked at the facts. The fact was I had breath in my body. The fact was I had potential. The fact was I could still get my GED. I could still go to college. I could still become the man I was born to be. When I started walking by facts instead of feelings, everything changed. Let me tell you about Marcus, one of my students from Detroit. He grew up in a rough neighborhood. Violence, poverty, negativity, all around him. One night his best friend got arrested, and Marcus felt hopeless. He told me, E.T., I sit and done. I can still do this anymore. I looked him dead in the eye and said, Marcus, that sips your feelings talking. What are the facts? He said, I step alive. I said, good. What else? He said, I said, got a mom who believes in me. Perfect. What else? I still got my books, my scholarship application. Then let's move. Facts over feelings. That young man went on to graduate college, first in his family to do it. You see, your feelings exaggerate the pain. They make the obstacle look bigger than it really is. But the facts are neutral. The facts are solid. They don't care about your mood. They care about your movement. The fact is, discipline works. The fact is, consistency compounds. The fact is, if you put in the work, you will get the reward, period. When your feelings start lying, when they tell you you're not ready, when they tell you you're too broken, when they whisper that you'll never make it, I need you to check the facts. The fact is, other people with less than you have made it. The fact is, you've got everything you need to start. The fact is, quitting will never get you there. So from today, stop giving your feelings a microphone and start letting your facts lead your life. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. You just need to remember the truth. Because feelings lie, but facts don't live. Tell this, be real. Discipline don't. Stick care about your feelings. Discipline don't. Stick care if you stitch your stab, if your stitch is raining, if you got drama going on. Discipline says, show up anyway. Discipline says, do it whether you feel like it or not. See, your feelings are emotional, but discipline is logical. Discipline is that voice that says, I made a promise to myself and I'm keeping it. It's the bridge between goals and greatness. Everybody wants success when it's convenient, but the ones who win, they do it when it's uncomfortable. Let me tell you something. Success is not built on mood, it's built on motion. When I was trying to get my PhD, man, there were days I didn't feel like writing. My brain was fried, my body was tired, and my family needed me. But I made a decision, not based on emotion, but on commitment. I woke up at 3 a.m., day after day, year after year. And guess what? The degree didn't care about how I felt. It only responded to the work I did. Let me give you a story. Jared, one of the guys I coached, wanted to become a firefighter. The training was brutal, running stairs in full gear, dragging hoses, breaking down doors. After the first week, he told me, E.T., I don't know if I can do this. My body hurts. I said, good. That's your body adjusting to the next level. Now let your discipline take over. He stopped listening to his feelings and started listening to his purpose. Every morning, 4 a.m., he ran those stairs again. His friends quit. He stayed. And months later, when he put on that uniform, he said, E.T., discipline made me a man. That's what I'm talking about. Discipline doesn't ask for permission. It commands results. Discipline doesn't check your mood. It checks your movement. You can cry, you can be angry, you can feel broken, but you still got to execute. You still got to show up because your dream doesn't care how you feel today. It only sees what you do today. When you let discipline lead, consistency becomes your superpower. Every day you act, even when you don't feel like it, you're building muscle memory for success. You're teaching your mind that feelings don't control your future. Focus does. Discipline says you made a commitment and we start not negotiating. That's why I tell my students, stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation fades. Discipline finishes. The truth is, you'll never always feel ready. You'll never always feel strong. But discipline doesn't care. It doesn't need a good mood. It just needs a good reason. So the next time your feelings tell you to quit, remind yourself, discipline doesn't listen to emotions. It listens to execution. Because in the end, the people who win are not the ones who felt the best. They served the ones who did it anyway. So the next time you wake up and your feelings whisper, not today, you tell them, you don't sit, run me. Your feelings are liars. They want to keep you safe, small, silent. But purpose wants to make you great. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel motivated. You'll be waiting forever. Do it because you don't feel like it. Do it because you promised yourself you would. And when the world sees your success, they still ask, how did you do it? You so smile and say, simple, I stopped listening to my feelings and I started listening to my future.